many times the expression, Father, speak to me. Let me hear your voice. Tell me what to do. I heard that come out of my own mouth. Discerning his voice in the middle of the day-to-day routine, and especially in the chaos of the world around us, can be a bit of a challenge. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 3 of the Torah portion, Baha'elateka, when you raise up. So we go to chapter number 10 of the book of Numbers, or Bamidbar, and verse 1 says, Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, Make 2 silver trumpets for yourself, make them of beaten work. And you shall use them for the gathering of the congregation and for breaking camp. When they blow both of them, all the congregation shall meet before you at the door of the tent of appointment. And if they blow one, then the leaders, the heads of the thousands of Israel, shall gather to you. When you blow a shout, the camps that lie on the east side shall depart. When you blow a shout the second time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall depart. They blow a shout for them to depart. So, and it follows about instructions then about how to blow the trumpets and just raise a shout in order to give instructions to Israel. I've always enjoyed the shofar. Many of you may remember the first time that you heard the voice of the shofar and what it did to you. For me personally, I began to break up on the inside. It was a sound that I could not have imagined, but I heard someone sound that shofar, and it just blew and resonated all inside of me. And it changed me. It created a hunger in me that would not stop. We understand that the voice of the shofar from Exodus or Shemot chapters 19 and 20, that it is the sound of the voice of Elohim. The people heard his voice in the sound of the shofar, and it grew increasingly louder and louder to the place that they feared for their lives. Now Moshe is being instructed to make trumpets out of beaten silver work. So we have that which comes from the animal, the shofar, and now we have that which is mineral, and where the silver is refined and then it is hammered into shape. I've heard these silver trumpets or replicas thereof, and it is a different and unique sound. It's similar to a shofar in some tones, but it is distinct, and you can tell the difference. So why not just one trumpet? Why 2 trumpets? And why have any other sound other than a shofar? Well, let's take a look at this. Silver in Hebrew is kesef, and it has a meaning to long for, to yearn for, to long deeply after something or someone. Here is what we need to hear, pun intended here. Israel was led by their hearing the voice. And so there wasn't a flag corps standing on a pedestal and waving flags for people to discern the movements. It wasn't a mail system of some sort where there were runners going through the camp and giving information. Israel was called to readiness, called to assembly, called to war, called to leadership assembly by the sound of trumpets. So why is there a difference? Why is there a need of silver trumpets as opposed to the shofar or the shofarot? A single blast on a silver trumpet summoned the leadership. So they didn't get a second call. They had to be consistently listening for the voice of the trumpet even while they were busy about whatever other duties that they might have. Here's a lesson for us then. If we are in leadership, if we have some accountability for guiding and guarding people, our ears must be more attentive and more focused in the listening for His voice than anyone else. It's not that no one else needs to hear, but leadership has a higher level of accountability. Therefore, our adversary, Hasatan, would seek most definitely to try to distract the leadership's ears, get them off on a tangent, get them off on an emotional rage of some sort, get them caught up in some conspiracy theory of some sort, some train of thought that is really not fruit-bearing. And so then we have a great need for leadership ears to be tuned, listening. Two blasts signal the entire community. So while everyone heard the initial first blast, or at least the majority of them, then there was the listening for a second. Kind of reminds me as a child that our phone at home, not a cell phone, no cell phone, folks. In those days, we had the rotary dial phone with the attached receiver. That's how old we are. And we were on a party line. And so when the phone rang, there was one on the party line that it rang once, and then once again, repetitively. Some of us got two rings, bring, 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 and then some for 3 and some for 4. We were on a 4-person party line. Unthinkable in our day, but you had to listen and count the number of rings to determine whether the phone call was for you or for another household altogether. When it comes to the assembly of the body, there are those ears that listen and hear that particular call, and they turn and make sure others. That was two trumpets. Did you hear that? That means we all need to go. And then there were distinct calls that was for the assembling of war. So why silver trumpets as opposed to a shofar? Trumpets here is katsosera. And this is a feminine word, where a shofar is a masculine word. So then, the voice of the trumpets is the voice of the Ruach HaKodesh. For those who may not be aware, Ruach HaKodesh, the Hebrew phrase for Holy Spirit, is feminine. The Holy Spirit is that aspect, that character of the Most High that is feminine in its definition. It's not that the Holy Spirit's a woman, and it's not that Yah is masculine because he's a man. Yah is spirit. And everything that is masculine and everything that is feminine, both of them come from him. The voice of the Ruach is a feminine voice. It is the nurturing, guiding, encouraging, compassionate voice of the Most High. In a westernized mind, that's a little unsettling, but that's the problem. It's Western thinking and not Hebrew thinking. It is the voice then of the Ruach, the Holy Spirit, the Shekinah, which is again feminine, that is wooing and calling and leading Israel. It is the voice of the Spirit that cries out for the leaders to stand up and take their position and to lead, because I'm with you. I will encourage you. I will guard over you, and I will translate and impart unto you the voice of the bridegroom. I've heard him. And it is also then for the encouraging of the armies of Israel. The voice of the Ruach is the one that rallies them and says, fight on, men, we're with you. And it is the voice of the Ruach, that wonderful feminine Ruach voice, that encourages with dancing and celebration and great joy. Just like the wife's voice in the home, it has an incredible quality to it. So listen for the voice of the trumpet, the voice of the Holy Spirit, and let's be led correctly. We'll see you again tomorrow. To then, shalom.